folks, my name is Laura, sou da English for You, e hoje eu tô aqui com meu irmão, Professor Victor. Ele tá no Arizona, nos Estados Unidos, mais especificamente na cidade de Scottsdale, e ele veio atualizar a gente da situação do coronavírus ou coronavirus nos Estados Unidos, o que tem acontecido por lá e a experiência que ele tem vivido. So, hello Victor, how are you doing?
Hello, Laura. How's it going? I'm doing great right here. Like living a dream every single day. And about you?
I'm fine, actually stuck at home. There isn't much I can do. Right now, the situation here, we can't go out. We are advised to stay at home and do home office. So it has been already a week since I don't go out. And I guess the whole city here where I am is the same. In Brasilia, people are inside, everything is closed, so there is a big lockdown, and that's the situation now.
So, before you came with your questions, I have one for you already.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. So, my big question is how people or how they are approaching in Brasilia, specifically where you are living right now. Are they like, for example, half and a half? Are they believing on this coronavirus? Are they stay at home? Or, what part of the population there is believe or not? They stay at home or not,
Well, Brasilia is a different city because it's not a big city. The city is an airplane, basically. It's the design, it's the shape of an airplane. Yeah. And this airplane is not so big. And just this airplane is really called and considered Brasilia. Everything that is around, the other cities around, are the satellite cities, which are called satellite cities. They are also part of Brasilia, but they are not really the city Brasilia. They are other cities that are very near around this airplane. Inside the airplane, which they call Brasilia, everything is locked down, and people are really believing, they are taking it so serious. They're not going out. If you go to a supermarket, you're going to see people wearing a mask, wearing gloves. They're not having contact with anybody. Everybody is like, if you go to the line of the supermarket, the distance between one person and another is 2 meters. So people are really taking it serious, and you can see nobody on the street. Like, it's like a ghost city. There is nobody outside. But around Brasilia, in the satellite cities, which are more specifically the more simple places, people are outside like if it was a normal day, a regular day. So I noticed that in some poor areas, in some very simple places, people are not taking it serious. But in places where people have more education, more information, they're taking it really serious.
Gotcha. Maybe because the information comes for them, like easily. I don't know. But the reason that I'm asking for is I have a really, I don't want to say tough, but I had a really a great conversation with one of my students here. He is a doctor. He works in a hospital here in Arizona, in Phoenix. And the situation is a little bit different than I imagined, So, of course, I'm reading the newspaper. I'm looking for the information on a computer. And the social media is pretty hard to trust because you never know when it's a fake news or when it's real. But of course, you can looking for a really good information. It's not for real, that is not like a bullshit. Sorry,
the language. Okay.
The language, but yeah. So he opened my eyes yesterday in a lunchtime about the coronavirus, and The
What did he
reason that
say about it?
so yeah, so exactly the question that I made to you, he talked about this. So that's the biggest problem. It's that people that doesn't believe. They think it's a, I don't know, it's a threat from the government, political stuff, you know, and it is not. That's what he told me, right? So he told me that the biggest problem is in Scottsdale, for example, we have we have more how can I say
Elderly.
elderly people here living here, right? So that's something that all the hospitals and doctors they are really concerned about, you know, because it's really easy to get infected by this virus, you know, and spreads out really fast and a big scale, you know. So they are really like scared and about that. And I will tell you the truth. I was not believing before this conversation. Oh, of course, it's not a dangerous virus
It is
for me.
dangerous not talking about the effect on your body, but talking about the effect in the society. I would call it dangerous.
Yes, exactly. So he just say like he told me something like, "Man, Victor, I'm not worried about you, man." So and I'm not being like, you know, not because I don't care about you, but I believe you're healthy. You train just every single day. You eat very healthy. So I'm not worried about you, but I'm worried about how people approach about that, right? So man, I was training, you know, with some friends, and after that call, I said, "Man, I'm so sorry. I think I need to do my part for the society, for the population here in my community. So I will like stay at home now, lock down for sure. And the only thing I'm doing right now after that conversation that changed completely my point of view of things is just like drive from my home to my work here. That is pretty close, you know, like kind of like 4 minutes from my house, and I don't have any contact with no one unless my coworker that we teach class together online, you know. So and we have a kind of a deal with one each other to, you know, to keep the distance of people. And so we just have my wife that I live with and her friend roommate, you know. So that's it. So and we trust one each other to keep like the social distance.
Also, not only about the society, but for example, if you have some problems breathing, if you have some allergies or some lung problems, and you get
Yeah.
infected, it can become a worse thing. So, for example, there is a very famous influencer in Brazil called Luisa Mel. She she's very healthy. She's vegan. She works out, and she got the coronavirus, but it became uh, pneumonia,
Oh,
and that's really dangerous. So I imagine that for someone who doesn't have health care, health insurance, it can be really dangerous because if you need any medication or if you need to see a doctor in the USA, it can cost so much. So maybe if you get sick, you can't afford seeing a doctor, it can be more dangerous. Here in Brazil, we don't have that problem because we have the public health and also the private one for some people. So anyway, if you are in an emergency, you are gonna see a doctor. But in the USA, I guess that it's more complicated.
yeah, it is complicated. The part of the financial part talking about, right? So of course, everyone will have access to the hospital, right? But your bill, you know, will be the bad part of this. It's not about you have to pay to have access to the healthcare. But we will sign up at the end of your day in a hospital, and this signature will cost a lot of money for you. Could be
And
a
what
big
happens after if you don't pay it?
So what will happen is, for example, I have a situation here to go to the hospital, and I didn't know about bills and nothing like that, right? So my bill becomes really expensive. What I had to do, my choice was to renegotiate that price, tell them that I need to renegotiate again, and try to drop down the price as much as I can. And of course, split up all this bill in, like, I don't know.
Paying installments.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I did.
Yes. And what is the situation there? Like, is everything locked down? Is it like, are people respecting it, or people think it's a joke?
Yeah.
We know that Trump gave a speech on the TV, and he told people should get back to work because of the economy. Do you think people are listening to him, or do you think people are listening to the doctors?
Yeah, I that's the big point of this conversation to talk through, in my opinion. I think the doctor talked with me. He told me 50-50. I don't believe it 50-50. I think it's like 60-40, right? So because Scots, they have most of the population here is older people. So I think they are stay at home. They retire already, so they are living here, just not enjoy life. And I think they are really locked down for sure. So why we know that? Because a lot of, if you go to the supermarket right now and try to buy water or sanitizer or, I don't know, meat, you will not find nothing.
Really?
So, oh yes. That's this, because it's just the beginning right now here for Arizona. Not for United States as well, but in Arizona, this has become more serious right now, this week.
There is no food in the supermarket?
You can find kind of, but man, you need to stay at the line. We need to wake up pretty early to get in this line, because half of the line will find the food, but the other half will not find anymore.
My goodness.
Yeah. So here in Arizona, as I can tell you, people are motivated, they are motivated by fear and panic, right? So we have when people notice about that, they looking for, and the news bring us this coronavirus. So people go straight to the supermarket and they bought as much food that they can, but not everyone. The problem is, like, part of this population, they bought a lot, they made a big stock at home. And then little by little, people like start to get like in panic, with fear, because you don't know about tomorrow, about the next week. So how they want to do with food. And then everyone start to get like in panic here in Arizona. And man, you can drive at the streets and you can see in front of the markets a big line,
And that's super dangerous. It's super dangerous to make big lines right now, because when you make big lines, you are near other people. So you shouldn't make big lines now.
So about supermarket, what I can tell you is how coronavirus is affecting the supermarket, right? So they don't let big amount of people jump inside of the store, right? So they make a line, and as people is getting out from the supermarket, they let more people get in. So they
But in the line, people are near each other, or they have a distance on the line?
I will say that they are near, they try to keep the distance, but it's not enough. They don't want to become the line. They don't want to see the line bigger, So it's visually bad. So So the supermarket tried to control the number of people inside, but they still have in line. They limitate you to buy stuff, so you cannot buy like, I don't know, 3 package of toilet paper, or something like that, like meat or rice, beans. You just can buy like 3 cans of beans. You just can buy 1 box of toilet paper. You
But
just
of
can.
course, because if there are some people who can't even buy a lot of food. So
Yeah.
if you don't have money to stock food, you're gonna starve. Like, it makes no sense.
It's a sanitizer you cannot find at all, right?
Hand sanitizer here you can't find either. But it doesn't matter because if you can wash your hands with soap.
Yeah.
You don't need a sanitizer. I don't know. People are stupid.
I bought a box of hand soap, right? So I'm fine.
If you have soap, you don't need a sanitizer.
Yeah. But and some people is using the masks, some people doesn't use, some people use like the gloves, some people doesn't use, It's half and a half about that. But also the restaurants, so is another thing that it's working different right now. So we are not allowed, it's supposed to shoot down, right? But no. So we are not allowed to eat inside of the restaurant, enjoy the food inside of the restaurant. You just can go to the drive-in, right?
And
so
to the drive-through and
yeah,
the takeout.
Exactly. So people doesn't get out from the car. And about coming back to the supermarket, what they are doing now, they are doing it online. You can order all your food online, of course, if that limitation. And you just like pay online. You drive your car by, open your trunk, food inside of your car. You didn't like get out from the car. You didn't have any contact with people. You open your trunk for inside of a car. They throw the food in your car, close, and you're ready to go to your home again. That's pretty cool to talk through, but it's not everyone that knows about that,
And why do you think the USA has reached now bigger numbers than China and Italy?
Oh yes, because man, the bigger number for the United States is in New York right now, New Jersey, right? They have the biggest number. So I think it's because, man, America have everyone. That is every country is inside of America. We have Japanese, Chinese, a lot of immigrants, and so that's, I think, why. And because, man, people. That's the problem. People don't believe. A lot of people don't believe. They are spreading out pretty fast the virus for everyone. So I think in New York, it's like a big population over there. They use a lot of the Uber transport, So it's easy to get infected. You don't see a lot of cars over there. People use like trains, boat, and they walk, bicycle. So it's easy to get infected in New York. That's the biggest problem right now for the United States. In Arizona, it's kind of controlled, but
are there deaths in Arizona?
What we are here? What is the question? Sorry.
If there are dead people, if there are death, there is a death number in Arizona.
We have a kind of thing. Is something like 600.
No, dead people or infected people?
Infected people. So sorry. Yeah, infected people 600. Oh,
and dead. Death. Is there death?
16 people. That's, I think, the number that I remember, right?
16 deaths in Arizona?
I think it is, right, Nivea?
It's a big number.
The number of deaths? Yeah. I think it's 8. I'm so sorry. 8.
But it's a big number.
I don't think it's a big number, Some
Comparing
people
to the number of infected people, 600 infected, 8 deaths. I
Yeah,
I think it's a big number.
it's some people just cannot survive, you know. For example, if we give a good example, our mom, she have uh, asthma, right? It's
Yes.
a it's a really really big chance to don't survive her, you know.
Yes. Yes.
But what the concern for the doctors is, if half of population here doesn't believe on that, and they still to have the normal life here, we we will have maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when this get really really worse, they will need to choose who will survive. You know,
Yes,
we don't.
and that's why I don't agree when presidents tell people to get back to their normal life. Because
Yeah,
simply they will choose between who will live and who will die. And I don't think it's fair. Because of course, people who have money will live, people who don't have money will die. For me, it's pretty obvious.
yeah, it makes sense, of course, but I don't know if they were like, oh man, he's an old guy. We doesn't have a bigger chance to survive. If they have a lot of money, yeah, I don't know if the doctor will say, okay, man, we have a lot of money. We want to give the chance. And this
But if
kid
there
here,
is a young immigrant, poor kid, and an old rich American, the old rich American will live and the young poor immigrant will die. I think
hard,
so.
hard to say, hard to say. I hope this doesn't happen. You know, I hope
But even
people
if
here.
it would be an old person, imagine if your grandmother would be chosen to die. I will
That's what
kill the
people
doctor who
don't
will choose
understand.
it.
That's the big problem here. You know, that's the biggest problem here. And and also people motivated by fear and panic, they are, because we have this culture to have guns here, people get so scared of the situation. They don't know what can happen. They are buying like guns and bullets like crazy, you know.
What
And
are you gonna do with guns if you get infected with the virus? There is nothing to
yes,
do with guns.
because we have this big problem with the virus being transmitted and spread it out. But we have too something I'm thinking about, that is the panic and this fear, you know. So we never know. We never know if you saw what can happen. No, in a place that everyone have a gun. So we never know what can happen.
I only know that due to the economy, of course, because of the pandemic, the economy is going to fall. People will lose their jobs. People will
Drastic.
be
Yeah.
people will be out of money. People will not have money to pay the rent or to pay the loan or to pay the bank and to buy food. So we know that the violence will increase so much in every country, especially the countries in development. So people will start robbing, maybe stealing to get
Maybe.
money to survive. So this is a big problem.
That could be a big problem for sure. I'm still like thinking about the virus, you know. I have a gun, but my point is not to like kill someone. I don't think in my city, Scottsdale, people will like rob you and jump at your home. I don't think that at all. You know, what I did, my thought about that is just to don't be the only one that doesn't have a gun. You know, it's just to create this fake feeling of I'm safe, you know.
Yeah. Yes, but I
But
believe in places like New York, where you can see homeless people, you can see poor people, you can see people who are like, I don't know, you can see of everything. California, New York, like talking about Los Angeles and New York. I agree. I think that the violence will increase due to the lack of employment.
I agree. I believe as well. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And Los Angeles is become like a big potential trouble problem in the United States, as the same in New York. You know.
Yes, there are other cities next to Mexico as well, which I think that, for example, if the situation in Mexico becomes really bad, will try to go to the USA more than normal. I think that there is a big chaos around the virus when talking about the USA.
Yeah. So what what we are doing, Laura, here as a team, Gracie Baja, you know, we totally believe on that virus in this scenario that we are living, you know. So we want to make part of the flattening the curve, you know. So we shut down the schools, we close the schools, we make sure every single student of Gracie Barra, they know what is that. We bring them the information, the email, through the message, through the Instagram, social media, and everything. You know, that's the first thing we did here. Uh,
What about
the,
the classes and the
yeah,
physical activities?
the second thing we did here, before everything becomes so like dangerous like that, when just we was just information. So we still having classes, group classes as normally. This is a 2-3 weeks ago, and we are we implement sanitizing every corner of the school, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
before the classes start, we make a line and we make the kids clean the hands like in line before the class. When we finish the class, they wash their hands to leave the school as well. We clean the school like 3 times per day to make sure we keep the environment clean and safe. But things become worse, and we as I told you before, we want to make part of the flattening the curve, right? So we shut down the schools, we close the schools, and now what we are um, giving for our students, it's like virtual classes, right? So that is really hard for us. It's something new, and for everyone, something new is pretty hard. It's challenge, you know. There is a lot of challenge on that, and we are doing a really good job as a team, being connected, being together on that. And so I think something that we need to care about is your healthy. You know, if you are like eating healthy, if you are exercising your body, keeping strong, and of course body mind healthy. So I
Also
think
about the mind, because people are in lockdown, they are going crazy because they are not in contact with anybody. They're not seeing anybody. They're not talking to anybody. They're not like going out walking or anything. People are going crazy at home. So I think it's a really good idea to exercise, to do some physical activity,
yeah,
something at home.
for sure, 100%. So we provide for our students virtual classes, and we have our platform that it's gbonline.com. So we are given access, the full access to this platform to our students. You know, of course, the students that didn't freeze the account, didn't cancel, and we are giving as well. We have groups, private group on Facebook that we provide these students on this group to have virtual classes with your one professor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So me, Professor Nive and I, we are like teaching classes for the cell phone. Of course, the students is connected with us, and we are providing the students like normal classes, drills, exercise, warming up, cool down, good end of message class. And man, it's working pretty good, because I think on this moment what make us stronger is to keep together, you know, connected in any way. So that's what Brisiba is providing to our students, and it's being really cool for me as a professor, because I'm far from my family, and of course, the people that you work on a daily basis, that you train, you teach, become your family. So I have opportunity to see my students, the kids, and everyone. Is something that give us like better life, a kind of like comfortable, on this interesting time.
Yes, and being far from everyone makes us feel depressed and sad, upset. So it's really good to have at least the online contact.
So to talk through, one of the biggest reason that I bought a gun for my home is because I was alone without talk with no one. I was not looking for another opinion, and I started to create crazy things on my mind because I think it's what happened with everyone to talk to here in Arizona. So you don't have contact with your friends anymore, just your wife, your kid, your family, like on a daily basis. You start to create like monsters, like something that don't exist at all. So, and I start to think, man, imagine if people like, I don't know, invade my house, jump in my window, what should I do? And man, I bought a gun.
But even if they would break into your house, you would be just looking at them breaking into your house. You wouldn't do anything.
I truly believe on that, to talk through, Laura,
you would freeze. You would freeze, and you would be just looking at the situation. You wouldn't do anything.
Yes, for sure. I totally agree with you. But that's the problem that I tell you. I share with you guys here before. So people alone at home, they will like start to just think about the worst scenario ever.
It is true.
And when we are together as a team, so you see your friend like laughing to the other side, smile to the other side, everything is okay. It's not that crazy scenario that you imagine. So it gives you like comfortable, you give like patience, and you sit down, you think better about things. I think this is really important with being connected, right now.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Is there anything else you would like to tell us or say?
Man, what I would like to tell everyone that is watching us right now here, please, guys, believe in what is happening, right? There is a virus. Yes, there is a virus. I was not believing pretty much, but I have a lot of doctors as a friend. We used to train together. I'm not seeing these people anymore. That friend of mine that works on a hospital here, Mayo Clinic, he is getting his house through the side outside. There is a room that doesn't give access to the other part of the house. So thinking about this doctor, he is for 3 weeks right now. He is living with his family inside of the home, but they don't have any contact, only through the cell phone. They don't give hugs. They don't talk pretty close. And imagine that, this doctor, he lives with his family, but he don't have any contact with his son or with his wife. So that's real. That is not a bullshit. You guys should believe, should make your part. Don't be like, what is the best word to use for that? Just selfish, right? Don't be selfish. Don't think, man, that's just a flu. I'm strong. I'm fine. Because, man, we don't want to. We are not prepared to receive so many people in the hospital. So you cannot just think about yourself. Please make your part. Let's flatten the curve and, man, work it together, strong as a team. And I believe totally 100% that if you do your part, in like a few months, everything will become like better and normal again. That's my message for everyone.
Yes, amazing. Thank you very much. I wish you the best of luck with the online classes, and also stay safe, you and your team. Thank you. And we can talk more later about different subjects like living in the USA, working in the USA, learning the language, and happier things as well.
For sure, it will be my pleasure to share this moment with you, Laura, and all your students. Of course, if I have a lot of to improve on my English and everything, but you know me better than everyone. I'm not a kind of shy guy. If I say something wrong, please maybe comment below, and I can see what I can improve. But man, it would be my pleasure to have another conversation to talk about something better than right now, coronavirus. Thank you so much for the invitation. I
Thank
really appreciate
you.
that.
Yeah, see you. Bye bye.
See you. High five, everyone.